I watched this guy walk into my friend's dorm, drop off his, I guess he wasn't some guy, he was her boyfriend, but still, like, he's also just some guy, drop off his laundry and leave. I was like, what was that? She's like, oh, well, I do his laundry for him. I was like, why? She's like, because he's my boyfriend. I was like, okay.
Because she wants to? Because it makes her happy to do something nice for her man? Joseph Beach, welcome to the Coffee Pod by Mr. Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So, gentlemen, we know there are all types of chicks out here that if you're dating, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You got to look out for, you got to watch out for the red flags. One of the things that you have to watch out for are the chicks who can't think right? They're out here expecting you to uphold your traditional expectations while they remain extreme feminists. We're going to check out a few of these women. Do you guys remember this chick, though? We have to first bring this chick up, who said that a man asking if you can cook or clean is a red flag. This was a modern African woman. No more wasting time. Let's check it out.
Story time. So me and this man matched on the apps. His approach was pretty good. He had good banter, which is usually a problem for these people called men. However, in the middle of the chat, we're chatting and he goes,
starting off with some shots against men. I don't know. It's not looking good.
Can you cook? Which we all know is a red flag. And I
asking if you can cook is a red flag. Guys, I hope you're following. If a woman says asking if you hold on. If a woman says asking if she can cook is a red flag, you might want to pay close attention to whatever comes out of her mouth after that.
Answer, of course I can cook. I'm a competent adult. I hope you can too. That's such an odd question. And then he kind of ignores it and goes on to say, oh, can we FaceTime to just like pre-meet, which I love because I'm not leaving the house for somebody that I don't know who might be crazy because 99% of the time they're not well. So we get on FaceTime and it's pretty good banter. Where are you from? What do you do? You're a professional.
She just said 99% of the time men aren't well. 99% of the time men aren't well.
So then he delves straight into it. Oh, like, you know, what happened in your previous relationship? And I'm like, and I'm not about to bash.
By the way, I just realized I'm kind of tag teaming this whole situation with my past self. This is some Inception shit.
About you because they're not worth bashing. So I'm like, yeah, you know, the last situation didn't work out. We were not compatible. And he's like, oh, what do you mean you weren't compatible? And I'm like, so he asked me like, what's something I don't like in a relationship and dating? And I said, I don't like when a guy's unreliable. Like being unreliable is one of my top pet peeves. And randomly, you know, he asked me, oh, what does unreliable mean to you? And I said, like you plan, you know, we're supposed to go on a date and you cancel. I don't like that. He now looks at me and he goes, so are you a feminist? I said, is it a trick question? What does feminism have to do with my preferences in dating? But
see, this man didn't even need to know more about her. It was not a trick question. He just could feel the energy. We know what a feminist feels like. Can you guys feel that? Can you feel that masculinity coming from the screen? Let's keep watching.
I already knew it was a red flag. I was like, why is he trying to ask me if I support the rights of women? Why? So I said, I don't understand. What 1 + 1 is 2. So how did we get here? Like, why are you asking me? What does me having preferences in dating have to do with feminism? Like, where are you? What's this connection?
He doesn't want to date a feminist like you.
And he's going to answer, well, you know, these days, women expect men to be more effeminate and they don't allow men to be men. So maybe your expectations of him were really for women and shouldn't be for a man. And then he goes, so then I asked him, I was like, you know, so you're into gender roles? And he's like, yeah, I think a man should be a provider. And, you know, for me, I'm going to be a provider. I don't expect my wife to tell me to cook or to clean toilets. So I said, so you're supposed to be a competent adult. Right now, I assume you do your own dishes and clean toilet. You meet me, a professional woman who's making her own money.
Uh-oh. Making her own money. There we go.
At my level, I don't even wash toilets. I outsource that. So you expect a woman of my caliber to date you
here we go.
And then downgrade my life and become...
And the accent's coming out. And the accent. See, guys, give a woman a little bit of money, she'll turn into a worse version of a man with money.
Toilet cleaner. So he now said, oh, but if men have to participate in domestic chores, what's the benefit to men? So I said, so I now told him, I said, every time people get into these topics about cleaning, cooking, it's an impoverished mindset because I'm working, so I ain't got to do either. So if your plan is to date a woman so that you can make her a maid, it makes you an impoverished man, period.
So listen, that's the video. You guys can go watch the rest of that video. It's called I Make Too Much Money to Cook and Clean for a Man. I'm Not a Slave. So obviously, like you guys have seen, this is the type of woman who doesn't want to be expected to cook or clean, but I bet you she still expects you to protect her physically and most likely either earn as much as her, but probably prefers that you earn more than her. And you got to watch out for this because at that point, you're getting a completely unfair deal. And this is coming from someone who I believe that you should help your wife cook. I believe that you should help your girlfriend cook. I'm not somebody who, it's impractical. I can tell a guy has never been married or been in a relationship that leads to marriage, or a woman has never been married when they say things like this. The woman saying things like, oh, I should never cook and clean. You should outsource that. And that's what I deserve. This is life. This is life. This is life. You're going to cook. You're going to clean. And depending on the man that you most likely want, most women today, you're going to want the type of man who wants you to bring those nurturing and feminine characteristics to the relationship. And for men, it's impractical to think that you will never wash a dish and you never have to help. That's stupid too. But guys, believe it or not, that's not the main video I want to focus on here. This mindset is so prevalent that you have chicks who are out here dating and are shaming other women, girlfriends who are not yet wives, and wondering, why do you want to do good things for a man? Why do you want to cook and clean and do a man's laundry? Why? Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Let's get it.
One of the most shocking parts about getting a boyfriend is finding out how much other girls are doing for their boyfriends. Because when you get a boyfriend, you're in this secret little club, right? And girls start talking to you about their relationship in a way they wouldn't talk to you about their relationship if they were single, which there's something to unpack there, but this isn't that video. Anyway, you'll just be talking to a girl and she'll let you know, oh yeah, I have to do my boyfriend's laundry this weekend. I will never forget the first time in college, I watched this guy walk into my friend's dorm, drop off his, I guess he wasn't some guy, he was her boyfriend, but still, he's also just some guy, drop off his laundry and leave. I was like, what was that? She's like, oh, well, I do his laundry for him. I was like, why? She's like, because he's my boyfriend. I was like, okay.
Because she wants to? Because it makes her happy to do something nice for her man? Maybe?
Girls will just start telling you, I make all his appointments, I contact his family. And then I guess when you get married, it gets worse. I saw this post from this lady and she was radical. She was saying, because I'm a wife and I don't do his laundry. I don't cook him every meal. I don't, keep up his relationships with his family. And a few years ago on TikTok, I couldn't stop making videos about domestic labor. And it wasn't even because I was personally, it had affected me. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe that there were girls, married or not, just waking up, looking at the man next to him and being like, okay, I'm about to do 75% more of the housework today.
But you wouldn't be surprised if you saw a man all of a sudden start assisting a woman financially, right? Helped her with a little bit of gas money. You're not sitting down going, hey, stop it right there. She doesn't deserve that.
Put that coffee down.
Put that coffee down. You're not. Stop this craziness. You're not. They don't ask the same questions when a man does things to a woman who he believes has earned those things. Because, she's got to earn it. You can't just be out here giving out free stuff. We don't give out free stuff. No, they don't make a big deal out of that. Because again, guys, they take and take. And the goal of modern women is, how can I take as much as possible and give as little as I possibly can?
Because I don't even do housework for myself.
What?
And this is one of those rare times, maybe the only time, that I'll be like, well, that bang doesn't look great. Or I'll be like, okay, listen, maybe thank God that I have ADHD, because it just becomes very clear to any man that ever sets foot in my apartment, oh, she's never gonna be able to clean up after me.
Because you don't clean up your mess? Or are all these chicks claiming to have housekeepers?
right? So maybe guys that wanted that from me just sort of ran from the hills for the hills. I'm not going to re-record this video. You know what I'm trying to say, even if I'm all over the place. Like, girls will move in with their boyfriend and then be like, yeah, I had to make him a chore chart, or like show him, you know, the way things need to be clean. And it's like, I'm so sorry, but if he can go to his job and he can type like this or like this, he can pick up a sponge and scrub a dish. What? For a very long time, when people talked about the sacrifices they had to make in relationships, I thought the sacrifice was like, I don't enjoy watching football every Sunday for like 15 godforsaken weeks, which is usually why I actually don't. But like that's a sacrifice that one must make in a relationship.
Guys, I promise you that the amount of single women, that statistic that talks about how almost half of women will be single by 2030. I promise you, we are going to watch this thing ravel. I wouldn't be surprised if they were off. And it's for sure more than half. This type of thinking, the fact that this chick thinks that sacrificers are watching shows, like that's a type of sacrifice, or watching shows you don't want to watch within a marriage, proves everything. That's what they call a sacrifice. No, I'm not going to do your laundry. I'm not going to wash your dishes. I'm not going to do housework and labor. That is too much.
You know, caring about his hobbies and interests, as bizarre as you may find them to be. But people are like, I'm going to give up my job opportunities for my boyfriend, which is, but I don't know. I mean, the girls are having babies for their boyfriends. But even for your husband, why? Why can't he take care of himself until you guys start dating? Why do you feel like it's a point of pride that like, I got him to this place? Basic decency? Okay, I guess.
Last but not least, the main point I want to make here is this is a great example of just showing you how independent women are. That the type of woman who wants to get on your plan and wants to be more of a helpmate within a relationship more than she does want to be independent and still be independent within a relationship. Instead of learning interdependence and being a helpmate and submitting to her man, getting on his plan and schedule is very, very rare. And even for the chicks out here who are trying to be that, they find it very difficult. We live in a very, very independent, individualistic society. Let's check out some of these comments. First comment here says, I love you so much. The not cleaning up after yourself so they know not to expect it was so real. LMAO. So you don't clean up after yourself because you want to show that they shouldn't expect that you're going to clean up. So you look like a slob. All to prove a point. Here's somebody else who says, free labor without a ring is crazy. You don't have any legal protection. They are sponging off your energy. This other woman says, do whose laundry? With the question marks. That has 11K plus likes there. So a bunch of chicks who don't want to do a man's laundry. Somebody else who says heavy on the why. Heavy on the why aren't all these women married. This chick says, I just show up and look pretty. LMAO. Be so careful, gentlemen. There are women out here who think that this is all they really have to do. All they really have to do. Another commenter says, when I get married, we are having separate laundry baskets. Another commenter says, my ex told me once you move in, you do all the cooking and cleaning because I don't know how to do that. And I broke up with him on the spot. Somebody else who says this, like it's so jarring to hear as someone who never had a boyfriend. So the person who's never had a boyfriend or a man disagrees with the things that men want in order for you to secure that relationship up until married. Just get ready for a lonely, lonely life. She goes on to say, because who doing these things for him before? Like, is he incapable? Here's another person who says, I know so many women who pack their husband's suitcase to travel. It's insane to me. Could you imagine if men complain as much as women? And I don't mean the coffee pot who makes videos of these chicks talking. No, I'm talking about if men got online and talked more about things that they do within a marriage that go unappreciated. As always, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.